Did you see over on the Shay Shay show how Steve Stoute is doing an interview over there? Did you see any of his segments, and do you have any stories or comments about Steve Stoute?
Steve Stoute, yeah. Steve Stoute is he was a hit maker. He's a hit maker. I don't know what he's currently doing, where he's working, but I always told y'all Steve Stoute was the guy that was managing TrackMasters that was really responsible for, in my opinion, Reggie opinion, one of Tupac's biggest top five songs. I'll say top five. Changes. He the one that kind of put that song together and worked with the vocals for the greatest hit album and made changes. So Steve Stoute was hot. He's somebody that Jimmy Iovine took under his wing later. He had some runs on the East Coast for a while, but Jimmy ended up taking him under his wings and helped him out a lot. He kind of replaced the Suge, to be honest. He's also the gentleman that I told y'all some stories about, where he was doing some stuff with with TLC, and that the reason why Suge had to get involved with my girl Lisa Lopez, because he didn't like how, I think he was managing them, or they were to the label or something. I'm not sure what it was, but I know he was heavily involved, and Suge never really cared for him. But the main thing that y'all know Steve Stoute for is he's the gentleman that Puffy got mad about the video when he was put on the cross, and how, you go and film something, then I think he said he wanted to talk to his reverend or his preacher or his pastor or something like that, and he told him that won't be a good look for him, and he kind of predicted that you're going to have a downfall because of that, being on that cross. Maybe it's coming true in 2024. But Steve Stoute is the gentleman that got assaulted by Puffy. If y'all heard about that, maybe John know a little more about it. He might can explain it a little better than I did, because I'm just talking off the top of my head. You remember that incident, or you have any of that paperwork in front of you, John?
I remember the incident. I remember. I don't know to what length he was involved, but I do know that an incident happened with the Nas featuring Diddy song "Hate Me Now," where in the music video they were depicted with crosses and stuff like that. And I guess apparently they had filmed Puffy in that same, with the cross and all that, and he didn't want it in. And when the video premiered on MTV, uh, it was in, there were scenes of Puffy with the cross, and apparently he left his office while it was live premiering on MTV, went to wherever Steve Stoute's office was, assaulted him, and then that's how those charges came about, from the best of my memory of when that happened.
You know, I know, and I said earlier in this video where I said how you tape something and do something, but you can, in my opinion, retract something or regret something. And if you go to a person and ask them to pull it down, take it out, I think Puffy might have had a little being right this particular time, because if he asked him to pull it down prior to it coming out, then it should have been taken down. And so that's a little bit about Steve Stoute. We just speaking on Steve Stoute because I know a lot of y'all don't know his name, know much about him. But he's a heavy, heavy maker. I remember a time when we was in New York. If he listened to this, maybe he'll remember, with him and Suge. We was coming out of a recording studio. Forget who we were there for or why. But thank God he had a New York cop with him, because, boy, we were strapped down. And two of the guys from TrackMasters took off running down the street, running out of the studio, because they seen, heard Suge and Death Row guys was there. Suge was going to talk to Steve Stoute. Steve was cool. They was talking, but then now these two guys come back with about 4 or 5 New York PD cops. And thank God the New York cop that was working for Steve Stoute, he put out his badge and they didn't come and pat none of the guys that were with me down. There would have been a lot of West Coast dudes in jail that day. I'll just say that. So I had always had a lot of love and respect for Steve Stoute after that incident because he was getting pushed up on, but he still told people to stand down. And so, yeah. But that's all the relationship or the things that I know about Steve Stoute. I know we talk about things and we just try to bring light to people. And for those of y'all don't know about these people and who they are. But Steve Stoute in the 90s was a very, very, very heavy hitter. He was making a lot of moves without having a label at the time. So yeah, that's Steve Stoute.